Hey everybody, this is Garrett here. I'm with Scavenger Ground Games. We're an online store here and we do mainly TCG player and we focus on Magic the Gathering. Quick little introduction to start us off. I'm a longtime Magic the Gathering player, big fan. I've been running an online store for over a year now. I've been doing it very consistently for at least a full calendar year. And I kind of wanted to start this channel to document the process and the journey. We'll mainly be focusing on the progression of running a TCG player store and some of the fun different little projects I get to do here and there, just like opening mass amounts of product and breaking it down, explaining the numbers and what all goes into that process. Kind of just go over everything I use to maintain the business. I don't rely on this as a primary source of income. This is mainly just a passion and a hobby of mine. Today I decided we're going to bring you along, do the first video here, and I've got a fun one. So we'll be going through some Lord of the Rings scene collector, well not collector, but scene boxes. I was able to procure 75 cases, got a pretty good cost on them. Should be able to make at least my initial investment back. Just thought this would be something fun to start the channel off with and see what happens. In those scene boxes, since there's 75 cases, it's going to be a little under 2,000 promos. The promos alone almost pay for everything. And then on top of that, you get 900 set booster packs, which is roughly like 5 sealed cases of set booster boxes. So it's a lot of stuff. We're going to go through the process. We're going to bust some packs. We're going to break down some cases. There's going to be a lot of cardboard. So behind me, you see all of these. I've got some already started opening, and they're kind of everywhere in my office. So we're going to get right into it and break down some cases. I'm going to take you to another camera view I've got over here. We're going to do a little time lapse of just breaking it down, and I'll get back with you guys once we've got everything into just packs, promos, and then at the end we'll go over the data. Data is my favorite part. It's kind of why I do this, because if the data doesn't make sense, there's no point spending all this money. Might as well gamble. So thank you guys for joining me, and we'll get right into it. Hey everybody, we're back here after opening everything up. It's been a couple of days now. I've gone through everything, opened it, sorted it, took all the value, or at least the cards I'm going to list out of it, including like tokens and some of the art cards. And on here, I've put together the spreadsheet that's kind of going to go over all of that. Since it's been a couple of days past we went ahead and listed everything. Some of it's started to sell, some of it's a little bit slower moving just due to the quantity, at least it feels like it. But with stuff like this, it's gonna take a little bit to go through everything. It's not an overnight process. I'm not a direct seller. I'm just standard level 4, no brick and mortar, do this out of my house. So it does take a little while here and there, especially for larger stuff like this. It feels like it takes a while. But the big thing to understand is that you did make money doing this. There is some profit in there. It just takes a little while, and you'll recoup that cash you spent and then start seeing the profits. It's, from what I can tell, takes about a month to 2 to fully be like recoup your initial investment. But that's okay. That's kind of like once you start doing this and get the ball rolling and you have multiple things you've done this with, a lot of it sells and you just kind of don't notice it, and it just kind of accumulates over time. It is slow to start, but once you get into it, it's a much faster process. So here you'll see, this is kind of the breakdown of the scene boxes themselves. Over here, I've got what I bought everything for. So I bought some cases from a couple different sellers. This is kind of the price breakdown per, with my average cost here at the bottom. I spent about $109 per case. On here, total of $8,177 is what I fully spent on this. Doesn't include time or anything like that, but that is cash invested. So over here on the left, you will see the price breakdown. This is market price I use here, of all of the promos on here. The ones highlighted green are going to be cards 50 cents and above, and everything highlighted red is going to be market price 49 cents and below. The reason I do that is because I kind of have two different ways to calculate expected value just off of fees and shipping, and kind of what I expect to see in the long run. So I went ahead and did this even before I bought it, just to kind of get an idea of what I should expect. Is it a good investment? Is it worth doing this? Because normally when I do these buys, I don't spend $8,000 at once. I just feel like this was a really good purchase and it was timed right. So it made sense to spend a little extra. Because normally on these, anything I buy, I try to get at least a 20% profit margin. Hopefully, that's kind of the goal. Because I'm not trying to flip things quickly. I'm not strapped for cash. I have done this for a while now that it just constantly recoups, and we keep going. So here you'll kind of see the total market price for one full case. You get about $121.12 in promos. That's including all the price levels, and that kind of covers your initial cost of $109. Obviously, after fees and shipping costs, you don't quite get your initial investment back, but per case you do get 12 set boosters, and hopefully in those you can recoup your costs. So down here, that's the total for everything, $9,084. Now I did do it here just so you can kind of see the cards that are 50 cents and up for the promos. Total about $884, or sorry, $8,847 total. Okay, so here on this page we have a breakdown of all of the cards that were included in the regular set. This doesn't include any of the art cards or any of the other weird stuff you get in there. It doesn't have the list cards on this with their prices. Just felt like that'd be a little redundant to list everything. It's very random and it's hard to calculate. So for this, I just took some of the cards that were market price like $2 and up, and I just kind of did a rough total of it. It's definitely more than what I put here. For the total list cards, I just felt like this was a reasonable number, because list cards in my experience sell pretty slow and it's very random. So like for everything we opened list card wise, the most expensive thing we got was a Blightsteel Colossus. You're not guaranteed anything, so 150 is kind of what I did. I realistically got like 250 in value, but this is just kind of a number that I decided to go with for this spreadsheet, for example. So over here on the left, and we're gonna kind of scroll it back over some, So you're going to see here, obviously I did this just by price, market price, highest to lowest for everything we pulled. And if a card is foil, I just have a yes in this column. So most expensive card we pulled was one foil, the One Ring. We did get 11 One Rings in total in this open, which I feel like is a little higher than I felt like the average might be. Which is good. That definitely helped our value. Obviously, the next most expensive thing is Orcish Bowmasters. We got 19 in total, and then so forth. You just kind of go down this list. So everything highlighted in green, same thing as the spreadsheet before. You're gonna have 50 cents and up will be highlighted green here. A cool thing I did notice is we did get a bunch of the Nazgul card. I believe in total we got around 50, if I have to be correct here. In total, if I remember counting everything out correctly, it was like right around 50, maybe 51, including the foil that we got. We only got one foil out of all of that, which is pretty neat because if you think about it, for the amount of packs, it's like almost 1 in every 18, which is half a box. So if you open a box of set boosters, you should expect about 2 of them, which is some cool numbers to look at here. So overall, we got a bunch of stuff from start to finish. Bunch of good stuff here. It's a good set. Like some of the commons are worth a good bit, like the Troll of Khazad-dûm's 54 cents. And we can kind of look at this from just like a rarity perspective here. So let's just sort this by rarity here. So when we look at it, that can kind of tell you. So we'll just start with the commons here at the top. So Lorien Revealed is probably the most expensive. Let's sort this by value and then rarity. Yeah, so here obviously these are just going to be all of the cards we listed. I have tokens put on this list just because I feel like it's worth listing all the tokens for now, just to kind of help fill some of the orders. Some people just add them as add-ons to get to that $5 limit on TCG Player, and it's a great way to do that. So I list pretty much all the tokens. Like a big thing that's sells pretty well, and I've always had a lot listed, is the Ring Helper cards. You'll be surprised how many of these I've sold over the past couple years since this set's been out there. I think it's been about a year now. Smog sells pretty well, the Smog token, and some of the food tokens do. Some of the other stuff is just kind of there. Is filler. But the main thing we worry about is going to be those commons that are more than your 50 cents. So you got your Generous Ant, your Troll, Erebor Flamesmith, your Mirkwood Bats, and your Lorien Revealed. That's like extra value, and I feel like that's pretty good considering we got nearly $170 worth of cards just from commons alone. We're going to scroll down and skip the rares and the mythics just to kind of go to the uncommons next. Similar situation here. I try to pull out cards, at least cards that I'm wanting to list that I feel like have good sales that are around 20 cents or more market price. Obviously I got some in here that are just like showcase versions of cards that are over that threshold. But for the uncommons, obviously the Nazguls are going to be expensive. Intish Restoration's been a good card that has good sales history. Reprieve, Rising of the Day, Peregrine Took, some of those other cards. Stern Scolding is a weird one that I noticed kind of went down in value. When the set first came out, it was like a $2 uncommon. Same thing with Reprieve, it was a little bit more, but it's gone down in price. And that's kind of just a testament to time and what's currently being played in Modern and other formats. So it's not used as much, but it's still worth a good bit. Obviously, I'm going to pull it out and we're going to set it aside and stuff. So like just for the uncommons that are over that 50 cent threshold, almost $800 worth of cards. Next we'll go on just to the standard rares. Obviously there's a ton of rares in this set that are just bulk. You've got nearly, what is this? Nope. Oops. Almost 600 cards that are all basically bulk for rares. And then all your cards that are above that 50-cent threshold. Most notably, we got a lot of Bowmasters. I feel like we got more of those than I thought. Same thing with Mithril Coat, and this card's kind of crept up over time. It was normally like a $10 card, and it's gone up. And we've sold a couple here since I've had everything listed for a couple days now, from when we opened it up. And then same thing with Mythics. There's a lot of Mythics in this set. There's a chunk of them here, and these are actually the insert cards that are from Commander that you can pull in the set boosters, mainly that are under that 50-cent threshold, with the addition of like Hue of the Entwoods is a pretty common bulk mythic from this set, and we pulled a good bit of those. I think that was probably the mythic we pulled the most of, and it just happens to be the cheapest one. So we got a good selection of cards for our mythics, a little bit of everything. Got some of the borderless versions, and some of the alt art that are like either the showcase or the borderless and foil, which is cool. I really wanted to get a Sauron the Dark Lord, either in the showcase version or the normal one in foil, just because it's kind of a pet card. I like the card in a lot of formats, but I'm building a commander deck for it, so I really wanted a foil one, but I'll get one eventually. I might actually try to get one of the borderless poster cards, just because that'd be fun to have and it would be cool. So that's kind of a breakdown of everything. I listed about 3,300 cards from the normal set, and then from the promos another 1,800. So this is a good buffer to all the cards I've got listed right now, and it helps keep my inventory count high. Because for some reason right now I don't have a lot of collection buys going on. I've mainly been doing little projects like this. Every once in a while you get a good collection buy that'll have 1,000, 2,000 cards. But I don't seek those out as much as I used to. I kind of just let them come. I've bought from enough people over the years to kind of keep my eye on it and whatnot. So here, though, we kind of go over the main breakdown. So obviously we got the cards that are 50 cents and up, 49 cents and down here, from your promos and the main set, and then your kind of expected value of everything, is how I broke this out on here. And I think filtering this the way I did kind of screwed with the math. Let me fix that real quick. So if we just go high to low, yeah, that fixes it. So this is kind of the main breakdown. So we've got our promos. That's everything from the first sheet. Promos 50 cents and up, the main set, and then our grand total. And then the expected value I've kind of calculated with shipping and TCG player fees. They take out about 23% of what we sell. So we see 77% of it once it sells. And then on the promos, I have my expected value set much less. I think it's at like 55% because it's cheaper stuff, and I'm going to sit on it for a while. Prices fluctuate, and I really don't expect them to sell as quickly and whatnot. So I kind of do it, take 45% out, because they're cheaper cards. And if you get orders that are just one single card order with our floor price, we end up barely breaking even, sometimes losing money depending on if they order like one or two. So we kind of just put it in that bulk number when we're calculating our value and kind of like what our profit margin will be on a full bust like this. So once again, we'll just go over this. This is the cost of it. We spent $81.77. Our expected value for the cards that are 50 cents and greater was about $10,828, which is really good for this, with everything considered. I do a bulk value of just $5 per thousand. That's a pretty rough number. The stuff's relatively picked. So it's technically right around that. You've got some people that will still buy it for that. Plus, it's a set that I think over time cards will change in value, and it'll probably be worth going back through. Did $150 for the list cards. Like I said, it's probably more than that, but we kind of just wanted to do it based off that 33% or the 23% taken out of it, and that gives us our total profit, expected profit of 28.61, and a profit margin of 35%. For all of these, I try to stay around a 15 to 20% profit margin, just because this is something that we don't do very often, and it's much easier to buy somebody's collection and offer them a fixed amount, knowing that we're going to make money back on it. So in this instance, we definitely did better than some of the other ones I've done in the past. This one was a little bit larger because I knew it had guaranteed value in it, and I knew it was going to be something cool to do, especially for the first video like we're doing here. And we're going to have many more projects like this in the future. Already working on another one here. There was a sale recently on these Doctor Who Commander decks that I found on a couple sites, and we procured like 20 cases of them. So we'll do a breakdown of that and kind of why I bought that next as our next video. The fun little thing that I did in addition to all of this is I kind of tracked all of the art cards I got, because I want a full set of the signature art cards, and I'm missing a good bit. I still need about 35 individual cards here, and I've kind of put the quantities of each one just to get a good idea. So with opening 900 packs, I got 98 signature cards, and then just standard art cards, I got 802, which is pretty cool to think about. I did highlight some art cards here, which are going to be the ones that are under the average, I believe, of 7 of each card type, or for each card. So if I want to put complete sets together, it would be pretty easy just to buy a couple of each of these individually and put the sets together, which I think would be something really cool to do, and try selling those on my eBay store, which I just started. I don't typically sell on eBay, but I think it will be worthwhile to start doing and kind of get some reputation on, because I can sell the sets of art cards as a complete set. I can sell other cards that I've acquired over the time that are either signed, cards that are not English, some of the play mats I've gotten over the years, because I've been playing Magic since about 2005, and I've just acquired a lot of stuff. And it wouldn't be bad to get rid of some of that extra memorabilia. Some of it I want to hold on to, but some of it I've got a stack of play mats, about 100 deep. So it'd be cool to kind of photo those and list them on eBay and stuff like this. And one of the art card styles that I did not include on this list, because it's guaranteed, you get about 75 of each one, is the scene art cards that are the promos. And I can put sets together of those and list them online as well. So that's kind of the main thing. Overall, this was a good purchase. 35% profit margin is pretty good. Obviously, it's going to take a while for everything to sell, and some of the bulk here that we've got calculated is commons that probably won't sell, like some of those tokens. It's going to take a while to go through. But if we can sell the promos and a good chunk of the expensive stuff in the main set, we'll definitely recoup our initial investment pretty quickly. And that's kind of the goal. Just keep the ball rolling, keep it churning. And we'll be back to kind of go over all of this in the future. One thing I did do as well that I just kind of wanted to share with everybody as a baseline to how 2025 is going to start, and I like to start doing these monthly, is a store overview. This is kind of just a screenshot or a snapshot, you might say, of the current store status and where we're at and kind of what our goal for 2025 is. I do this part-time on the side, and this is kind of the main thing I want to try to do this year. Is I want to hit a sales goal of 200,000. Last year I believe I hit a little over 160,000, and I wasn't doing it to the same level I want to this year. Currently, as of January 16th, which is when we're filming this, I have a current year-to-date sales of $6,600. It's about 3.131% to goal. And this is the main thing I kind of wanted to focus on here. Is I have about 51,000 cards listed. Cards over $20, there's 344 cards. And then same thing with all these price breakdowns. The majority of what I've got listed right now is going to be cards under that 50-cent threshold here, which is 37,000 cards. That is a lot, but you got to think about it. I've been doing it for about 4 years and doing stuff similar to this, so those cards kind of just sit there and they trickle through them, and the goal is to get a larger inventory than 50,000 cards, and you're not going to be able to do that with staples primarily because they sell quick. So that's kind of the thing, and one of these days we might consider doing TCG Direct, and that would be really good to have a higher inventory level. Total value of those 51,000 cards is about 60,000 market price. Cards over $20, this is kind of how the breakdown goes, which is kind of funny. The most amount of cards we've got is at 37,000 and that under 50 cents, and that only accounts for 8,300 of the value based on market. So that's a cool thing to keep in mind. I have the breakdown here as of January 16th, so gross sales, order count, product amount, and all this good stuff is kind of where we sit. We're going to be doing a bunch of buys here in Q1 to kind of keep our inventory high, and I've got a couple collections lined up that we're going to go over that we bought. So those are just some things here to keep in mind of where we sit, and the goal is obviously 200,000. If we can hit that this year, that would be awesome. So thank you guys for watching along with this. I will probably get a little bit better at the opening process because I feel like people probably want to see all those getting opened. It just time-wise does not make sense to sit here and individually go through 900 packs like that. It just isn't feasible for me and the amount of time I have to put into this. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this kind of content, subscribe. There will be a lot more here to come, and we'll kind of go over things in more detail. And if you have any questions about any of the things I do or why I do them the way I do, I'd be more than happy to make a video, reply to your comment, whatever it may be. I'm here as a resource if you need it. I've been doing it for a couple years now, and if you're getting into it, I'd love to be here and be able to help. So thank you guys for watching, and I really do appreciate it. You will see much more from me.